Jaya Nanda, Jaya Bhuta Chandra Jaya, Jaya Ganga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Okay, so we stopped here yesterday that on the spiritual platform, uh, every part of the body can act on behalf of any other part. So Krishna can see with his finger, can eat with his eyes. Krishna can do anything. And anybody who is on that platform, who is on that spiritual platform, can also do the same thing. Vishnu does not require anything in order to create. He does not require the goddess Lakshmi in order to give birth to Brahma. For Brahma is born from a lotus flower that grows from the navel of Vishnu. The goddess Lakshmi sits at the feet of Lord Vishnu and serves him. In this material world, sex is required to produce children. But in the spiritual world, a man can produce as many children as he likes without having to take help from his wife. So there is no sex there. Because we have no experience with spiritual energy, we think that Brahma's birth from the navel of Lord Vishnu is simply a fictional story. We are not aware that spiritual energy is so powerful that it can do anything and everything. Material energy is dependent on certain laws, but spiritual energy is fully independent. So, if we try to calculate and understand with our limited senses, with our limited intelligence, then we will get bewildered. So, spiritual energy, there is no dependency, it is fully independent. So, in the material world, there are specific processes for various activities. But in the spiritual world, there is no such specific processes. The spiritual energy is fully independent, and therefore, if one wants to beget children, they don't have to follow a particular procedure or process or method. Just by desiring, they can beget as many children as they want. Countless universes reside like seeds within the skin pores of Mahavishnu. And when he exhales, they are all manifested. So when Mahavishnu exhales, breathes out, all these little seed-like universes, they come out from the pores that we have on our skin. They come out from the skin pores of Mahavishnu, and they are all manifested. In the material world, we have no experience of such a thing, but we do experience a perverted reflection in the phenomenon of respiration. So when we sweat, we see that, okay, from the small pores that we have on our body, we see that there are droplets of sweat coming out. So similarly, when Mahavishnu is sweating or when Mahavishnu is exhaling, there are so many universes coming out. Again, when he is inhaling, all these universes are going inside him and they are all becoming unmanifest. We cannot imagine, however, the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu. For within one breath, all the universes are created and annihilated. This is stated in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma lives only for the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu. And according to our time scale, it is 43, this is 4320 years. 43 billion years constitute only 12 hours for Brahma. And Brahma lives 100 of his years. So Brahma's lifespan is also 100, but of his of the scale that is applicable or that is relevant in Brahmalok. So Brahma also lives for 100 years. And this 43 billion years that is there of one breath, that is only 12 hours for Brahma. Sorry, one breath of Mahavishnu is the entire lifespan of Brahma, because uh, because that is 100 years for Brahma. And for us in our time scale, what is 32 billion years is just 12 hours for Brahma. Yet the whole life of Brahma is contained within one breath of Mahavishnu. Thus, it is not possible for us to imagine the breathing power of Mahavishnu, who is but a partial manifestation of Lord Nityananda. Now, Mahavishnu is just a partial expansion of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram, and Mahavishnu is a partial expansion of that Lord Nityananda. And one breath of Mahavishnu is the lifespan of Brahma, and just 12 hours of Brahma is our entire scale of this 32 billion years. And that 12 hours, just imagine, is what is nothing in front of one breath of Mahavishnu. But that Mahavishnu is partial expansion of Lord Nityananda. This the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrit explains in the 9th verse. In the 10th and the 11th verses, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj describes Garbhodakashai Vishnu and Shirodakashai Vishnu, successive plenary expansions of Mahavishnu. Brahma appears upon a lotus growing from the navel of Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and within the stem of that lotus, so Mahavishnu is Garbhodakashai Vishnu is lying in the ocean on Ananta Sheshnag, and from his navel there is a lotus flower which has grown, and the stem is very long. The stem that is very long, and then at the end of the stem there is a uh, fully open lotus flower on which Brahma takes birth, on which Brahma is seated. Now the stem here, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the stem. So Brahma appears upon a lotus growing from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and within the stem of that lotus are so many planetary systems. So if you look at the cover page of our Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see that the cover page shows that there is Mahavishnu, and from Mahavishnu's navel there is a stem that is coming out, and there is a lotus flower, and Brahma is seated. But on that stem, you will see the planetary systems. There is the lower planetary systems, the middle planetary systems, and the upper planetary systems. So all these planetary systems are on that stem of the lotus flower below Brahma. Then Brahma creates the whole of human society, the animal society, everything that is there, all the creation that is there is created by Brahma thereafter. Shirodakshai Vishnu lies on the milk ocean within the universe, of which he is the controller and maintainer. So Lord Nityananda expands himself, he comes as Mahavishnu. Then there is, from Mahavishnu there are more expansions. Of course, there are between Mahavishnu and Nityananda Prabhu also there is the fourth Chaturvya expansion. So all these expansions are taking place in order to take care of their particular departments. So Shirodakshai Vishnu is lying on the milk ocean within the universe, and this Shirodakshai Vishnu is the controller and the maintainer of that particular universe. This Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and when the time for annihilation arrives, Lord Shiva will finish everything. In the first 11 verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrit, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj thus discusses Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Sri Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Nityananda as Balaram, the first expansion of Lord Krishna. Then, in the 12th and the 13th verses, he describes Advait Acharya, who is another principal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Thus, Advaita Acharya is also the Lord, or more precisely, an expansion of the Lord. The word Advaita means non dual. Non dual means not different, non different. And his name is such because he is non different from the Supreme Lord himself. He is also called Acharya or teacher, a great teacher, because he disseminated the Krishna consciousness. In this way, he is just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, he appeared as a devotee to teach people in general how to love Krishna. Similarly, although Advaita Acharya is the Lord, he appeared just to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Thus, he is also the Lord incarnated as a devotee. So, we know that Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. We also know that Advaita Acharya is the combination of Mahavishnu and Mahashiva. So, um, I think we can also take one more paragraph and then we'll stop. In the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna is manifested in 5 different features known as the Pancha Tattva, to whom Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj offers his obeisances in the 14th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna and his associates appear as devotees of the Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srivas Prabhu. In all cases, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of energy for all his devotees. He is the original source, and from him, all the others and all the energy is being emanated, all the energy is coming. Since this is the case, if we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the successful execution of Krishna consciousness, we are sure to make progress. In a devotional song, Narottam Das Thakur sings, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please have mercy upon me. There is no one who is as merciful as you. My plea is most urgent because your mission is to deliver all the fallen souls, and no one is more fallen than I. Therefore, I beg priority." This is a beautiful bhajan which is sung in in Sri Mayapur Dham in the temple every day in the morning after the Mangalarti. So it goes like this. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Tum Bina Ke Dayalu Jagat Samsare Protito Pabono Hetu Tavoyavotaro Moshamo Potito Napai Bearo. So it's a very beautiful song, very beautiful meaning. And these 2 lines is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. This is a bhajan written by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. And the first line says that, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please have mercy upon me. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Karo More. There is no one who is as merciful as you. Tuma, Tuma Bina Ke Doyalu, Jagat Samsare." My plea is most urgent because your mission is to deliver all fallen souls. Um, then what is it? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo Re, Tum Bina Ke Jagat Samsare. हाँ, पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतार. पतित पावन हेतु, to purify the fallen souls. Patita pavana hetu tava avatar. You have descended to actually deliver all the fallen souls. Mo shama patita prabhu na paive are, and there is no one more fallen than myself. Therefore, I beg priority. Therefore, you should first deliver me, because you have come for that mission. So if you all are aware of this bhajan, then you should definitely try to sing it. Whether the singing is good or not, whether our voice is good or not, that does not matter. But when we sing these bhajans, then Mahaprabhu is most pleased, because they are written by most dear intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Narottam Das Thakur is very, very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So on that note, we'll stop here. Krishna willing, we'll continue reading tomorrow. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namananda koti vaishnavvrinda ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All of you can unmute and please let me.
क्षमा करुणा हुई माता जी की जय. हरि बोल.
हरि बोल.